So what do they call you?
So they call me Bossy.
Bossy,
Bossy.
Bossy, what are you incarcerated for, sir, and how long is your sentence?
I'm incarcerated for attempted murder, and I was sentenced to 45 years to life.
Did I hear that correctly? You were sentenced to 45 years to life. You got more time than have you have actually had killed someone?
Yes, yes, I did.
Where are you from out here on the streets?
I'm from Pico Rivera, California.
Do you or did you at any time point in your life belong to any type of gangs, groups, organizations, or anything like that, sir?
Yes, I have belonged to Pico Viejo. It's a gang that was established in Pico Rivera. And then from there, when I became an adult and was sentenced to prison, I got into a prison gang right there, which is just Southerners and Sureños, stuff like that. It's not really a gang, but it's more like a clique.
Would you be able to tell me the differences of the Pico Nuevo and Pico Viejo?
Yes, Pico Nuevo is another gang established in Pico Rivera, and it's we're rivals for the rival gang for Pico Viejo. In English, it's New Pick Pico Nuevo. That's what it means.
May I ask where this feud started? Has it affected you? From my understanding, you guys are from the same city, so why the feud? Why the conflict?
Uh, the feud, um, the feud started. I really, except for my family member told me it started over a woman. Other family members told me it started over just turf. Um, However, as soon as bloodshed was you see bloodshed or you get that sense of this this action took place on one of my people, you get that sense of like grief. It don't matter why it started. It just is go time. I mean, I don't know why.
Have you had to feel that grief before?
Personally, I've been shot two different times. Being in the gang, and but feeling that grief, it hurts. It hurts. It's takes the wind out of you, and you gotta take a deep breath and hope no one feels that. You should only feel that for a loss of a real family member or whatnot. But as for like curse and whatnot, in hindsight, it's not worth it. But yes, I felt that grief.
Would you be able to elaborate further, man? Who was this young man? What was his name? What was it that happened to him? Do you remember how it affected their family?
That how why he passed away, or what are you talking, or me as
The
what are
person,
you talking about?
the person who had passed away. What was his name? What happened to him? Do you remember how it affected his family?
Yes, yes. So my friend, he went to a party and he was getting in, and just trying to enter the party, and he got someone thought he belonged to a gang, and he just got shot. Him and his girl just got shot, and I lost him that day, and as far as his family, that was the only boy in the family, and that was the man of the house, and they took the loss very, very hard, very hard. To this day, they feel it.
He wasn't from the neighborhood, or did he? Was he attack? Was he from a tagging
Oh
crew, or
yes, he was from, yes, he was from my hood. Yes, they called him Violet, Violet. Yes.
and you said that there was even an attempt on your life? What was it that happened?
Yes. Oh, well, I've been shot. I got shot when I was I believe 16. I got shot 5 times. And then I was at a park and just a rival gang pulled up and shot me. I got shot 5 times, and then I got shot at the age of 30 in a drive-by. I got shot 1 time during that action.
Who were the people who shot you? Did you
This
know them?
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Did you know the people
They're
who
a
shot
rival
you?
gang. Oh, I don't. You know, to this day, open cases.
Do you remember having those talks with your mom? I'm sure that once you had been shot, she probably tried to sat you down and ya say, "Ya plácate, mijo, ya stop." Like you're gonna lose your life. Did those conversations ever take place or anything of that sort?
Yeah, several times, and so much so that it caused friction and it caused me to separate myself from them, and I actually got disowned. I actually got disowned for not changing my life, that's when real problems started to kick in.
What led you to gangs to begin with? Now that you've had time to
My
reflect,
my
why do you think why?
in hindsight, my uncles and my father are from the same gang, and ever since the second grade, I can remember. I used to wear my dad's 3 flowers, wear a blue bandana. Ever since I was young, and it was a dream. Even coming to prison was a dream come true. Even using heroin was a dream, and I established all that. But in hindsight, it was all I just want to slap my father for not like because it was just a wrong message. And yes, it was always just a dream. I inspired to be like just my like my family.
Talk to me about your case, man. What was it that happened, and how the hell did you end up with a 45 to year sentence, bro? That's insane. That's absurd for an attempt of murder.
Yeah. Unfortunately, to this day, I have for my case is I'm under appeal, and I claim actual innocence. I have a alibi witness that I was working, and to this day, he stands by my side. He went to court. He went on the stand. I was with him. I have pictures of him and me during the day of the crime, but not at the exact day. And because of that, my lawyer didn't submit it into trial evidence. And but a guy went into a bar and hit a patron over the head with a hammer 8 times, and not one witness seen the perpetrator. They just said a man wearing a hoodie went into the bar, ran into the bar, hit this chopper in the head, and ran out. And that's it. No one seen the face or nothing. Unfortunately for me, I was at that bar a couple hours later, and my name got brought up. David Bossy was there that day, and I think it was him. And sure enough, I got convicted.
So ultimately, what was the prosecution's line of defense against you? Like, what was the main piece of evidence that tied you to this?
Their case in their case in chief for conviction was, it's called a Perkins operation. Illinois versus Perkins. That's a case law. Within that case law, it has a police officer posing as an inmate and being able to go into a cell with that inmate and question him or just talk like you and I, and whatever I tell him, it's admissible. The U.S.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
the U.S. Supreme Court is arguing that because I don't know that he's an undercover cop, Miranda does not apply, and so that's how they convicted me. They had an undercover cop come into my cell when I was doing a parole violation and say he was just another gang member coming to my cell and talk about my case. And they got me on recordings. However, the recording within the Perkins operation, there's something called the stimulation tactic. The stimulation tactic is during a Perkins operation, when the suspect ain't saying anything that's fruitful, the homicide detective will pull out the suspect, question him about facts of the case, in hopes of when he goes back to his cell, he talks about it with the cellie, because they know the cellie in there that's why he's in there, to get information specifically for what he's being investigated for. They often do that a lot of times when the suspect doesn't realize, when the suspect ain't giving them information. So that's what happened with me. I wasn't giving them information about why I was locked up or this and that. And so when the detective realized that, he employed the stimulation tactic. And sure enough, so I Mirandized for the stimulation for the interview. I said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have nothing to say to this. So I go back into the cell, and sure enough,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I tell the I just came back and trying to interview for me and this supposedly, but I said enough stuff to incriminate me. However, my lawyer didn't submit the interview. Within the interview, this detective is giving me the detail only the suspect would know, and that's what I'm going to be presenting in my appeal.
There must have been something. There must have been one sentence. There must have been one phrase, a certain word that you must have used that brought this whole thing down. What was it? Can you recall?
Yes, I can recall. What the detective gave me, the details, like how he got hit, how many times, what the suspect used, and I reiterated those. So, it was the phrases of the facts the suspect would only know. The amount of blows that was inflicted on the victim, the instrument used, and that was it. That's what gave them the stuff they needed.
Why so much time though? Why did they give you so much time? I don't understand that.
Because unfortunately, that I'm a history. I'm known as for a habitual offender. Unfortunately, that this is my second prison term. My second prison term, and then that's it, I guess.
What was your first prison sentence for?
Assault with a firearm and second degree robbery. And then my second prison term was ex-con with a firearm.
So what was the first prison you landed at, man? And what was the situation like there, man? What was it like? Who did you meet?
My first prison, yeah, my first prison situation was in Salinas Valley, a level 4. I was 16, charged as an adult, and when I finally turned 18, at 17, I was in the LA County Jail. There was a section there for juveniles, and I was in that section. The reason why I went to a juvenile module, well, I'm backtracking, and the reason why I went to a juvenile module is because I tried to escape from Los Padrinos juvenile hall. I hit a staff with a bat, and I was attempting to get the keys. That plan failed, and I ended up getting sprayed and beat up, and um, I got slashed up for trying to jump the barbed wire. I didn't make it out the building, and from there they said I was too violent, so they sent me to LA County Jail, and I was housed right there with a lot of violent offenders and our high risk profilers. And when I turned 18, I hit the main line, and then I went to prison, and then I went to Salinas Valley. From right there, my first experience with any real issue was with I was in the main line. I was 18, 19, and my Sally, I remember, he got in trouble. I was running Southsider, and he got in trouble, and because he was black, and he had family that was black. I didn't mind. And so he used to kick it with a lot of blacks. He had a heroin problem, and he bought drugs from the blacks. And at that time, there was a zero policy whatsoever, zero tolerance for dealing with blacks or other races. Because if you didn't pay them, it'll lead to confrontation and whatnot. And so he did that. The homies found out. I lied for him, and I ended up getting in trouble for that, and I ended up getting sliced in my jugular. But I stood strong. I didn't PC up. I just took it's called a licking. I took my licking. I was an ad sec. I stood strong, and I was up for cleanup. I ended up having to stab somebody to clean my stuff up. I did that, and I didn't do so well because it was my first stabbing. You know, I didn't realize how hard you had to really hold a knife to pierce somebody. So when I went to strike, the knife went through my hand, and I ended up dropping the knife, and I picked it up, but I ended up doing more scratching than puncturing the dude. And that's my real life experience right there. My first experience with prison, real taste of it. But I found out that for some people it's just in you. It's either in you or it's not. A lot of people say, "Oh, you have heart," because I knew I was gonna get stabbed. I knew I was in an issue, and a lot of people would have. Hey, I can't be here no more. I gotta leave the yard. But I stood on the yard. I knew I was gonna get a licking. I ended up going to yard, and I would be jumping. And I remember good friends pulled up to me and be like, relax, bossy, it's good, you're good. But I knew I wasn't, because I knew I committed a serious offense, and I knew I was going to get got. And sure enough, yeah, I was taking a shower, and they just came in from behind. And I looked back, and I said, fuck. And he straight, I was soaked up. He had his shoes on. He walked up to me and hit me one good slice in the face, in the jugular. Wow. I caught it. I caught his hand, and I ended up fighting with him. He got charged with it. No, he got away with it. But the person that assisted him, he ended up getting charged with it. But I tried to assist him by saying no, he wasn't the one that did it, but he ended up getting found guilty anyway. But yeah, that was my real life. That was some real life stuff right there.
In situations like that, does the state automatically pick up the charges, or do you yourself have the option
It
to
depends
decline
on,
the charges?
yeah, it depends on the situation. Is there video footage? Was the knife tied to his hand, or was the knife found? A lot of inmates, they do stabbings when they have life, and they'll tie the knife to their hand, and they'll go to town. Like, they don't care if they get caught. They don't care if the Mini 14 is shot. They're just gonna it's called shining, or doing their thing, and they're just gonna do it. Just start hitting that person, and they're not gonna get off. And so you have people like that. So it's wow, but it depends on the situation. Video footage, body camera, the knife.
S- s- s-
Um, is he going home? Stuff like that. Yeah.
You stated to me previously, just to make this crystal clear, just so I'm not confused, because I get confused a little bit. You said that you got hit, you nearly got killed,
Yeah.
and then you had to go clean up, and you had to go hit someone your damn self.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
Yes.
insanity. That's literally insanity.
Yeah.
You literally got hit, you almost lose your life, and then still have to go pick up a case and to go attack someone else. Did you pick up time for this?
Yeah. I didn't. I didn't. Well, see, that's from the eyes of a convict. It's a so you it's called you go to prison, and now you have a open jacket, a career, and so it's how you conduct yourself. So if you have an offense, like you messed up, well, then you owe cleanup to take away that offense, and that's why you gotta clean up this and that, and that's why a lot of people will request SNY so that they can do their own time rather than someone else's time and live under someone else's rules and regulations and whatnot. But that's how it goes. That's how it all unfolds. What do you mean? And he was taking up like,
Like do you have a certain scenario that or even someone who went in there and picked up a life sentence for trying to protect someone, for picking up for following orders or doing something. He had a chance at
yes,
going
yes.
home, and then he ruined himself.
There's um there's numerous cases where there's numerous situations, and again, it all depends on your situation, on how you carry yourself. I can be sentenced to prison for 2 years, and I have a Sally that just is a bad influence, and he gets in trouble with a big homie, or somebody that runs something, and now I have to clean up because of all that, or it depends, and a lot of people oh man, so many situations like that. I mean, it's a given, and
One that sticks out in your
in
mind?
the end though, it's in Pacific, let me see, a good friend of mine, he did 12 years. He was sentenced to 12 years. He was getting out in 2. He already did the 10, and he was closest to somebody that had to get hit. Usually, when you get hit, it's because you either a red flag, you owe money, or you're in trouble, you owe cleanup, or you're near him and you're the only one access to him. And in the instant case, he was access to him, and he had 2 years left, and he was supposed to just check this guy, and he checked him. This happened in Calapat. He checked him, and he ended up dying. He got stabbed one time in the heart, and he caught a life situation, a life case. He got life for that. Ah.
Man, that's very crazy.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Have you ever known of an individual who might have went in there as a resident, wasn't really gang affiliated. However, he somehow found himself fully involved in the politics, and somehow got caught in it, got lost in it.
Yes, yes. Yes, numerous. So, um, a lot of inmates, they don't have role models, as I didn't. Even though my dad and my uncles were from my gang, and I inspired to be like them, they never taught me how to be a man, or how to be self-responsible and dependent, and this is what it is to be a man, going to work and being a provider. I never knew all that. I didn't know none of that. I didn't know how to go set a goal. To this day, I never set a doctor's appointment. I don't even know how to order a pizza. Never in my life. And anyways, a lot of people are in the same situation as I, and they come in thinking being somebody is the thing to do, having power and whatnot. But it's really not. It's about running your family.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I'm going to call back.
Okay, let's go.
Or
Do you feel that certain people have been manipulated? Like, based off your observation, have you looked and said, like, damn, that dude is a fool? Like, he just straight up got used, threw his life away.
yes, of course. So residents and so they come in here thinking that being that man or having this little section is being glorified or glamorous, and you're thinking you're that, but and it's easy to reach the top. It's simply easy. All you got to do is be productive and have a route of making money. If you could claim that, you're automatically in. And you're given a chance. You don't have to be a full-fledged gang member. You could be a resident talking about, I can do this, and you have this amount. You're in. Just say you work for Whoop-de-Whoop. From this point forward, you use my name. You're good. That's all you have to do. And you're in. They'll do a little background check as far as where you grew up, who you kicked it with, and then they'll ask them how easy, and that's the type. They'll look at your case, and that's the type of background check you'll receive. If you're good, you're good, and that's it. If you just have one little productive way in, you're good, and that's how you get in, and then from there, if you show consistency and business ethics, skills, and whatnot,
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
you're good. Or if you have a connect to pills or pharmacies, whatever, weed shops, whatever, you're good. That's all. That's all it takes. And so a resident could get so caught up because a gang member would then look at this guy like, man, what the fuck? I've been working for, but he doesn't realize that the resident is more creative than the gang member, and so that right there, it causes conflict when we're on the same team. But however, you're climbing the ladder faster rather than, you should be embracing me too and letting me in too. But it's like, so that's how conflict starts within families and whatnot, and it's crazy, and it's so a lot of the times they'll go with the gang member because the gang member will do more bloodshed than the resident, because the resident, although a resident, he could do bloodshed, but they use mostly, you have your strengths. And one of the weaknesses of the resident is that he's not so creative in bloodshed or whatnot, or don't have a heart for that. And it doesn't put him down. It's just that's his weakness, and it's like that's where that's where it's kind of it gets tricky. It's all a game, and that's when they're gonna find out. Like, God damn, I did this. I was there for but just because I can't do this, and it's like, so it's just it all depends. It's all depend, and it's they don't realize they're working for a human being, that has different wants and needs and specific needs and instant gratification. So it's like, I need this right now. I need this done. And if you can't get it done, then you just put on the back burner. And even though you have one route coming in, it's just, so it's that's the pros and cons, and that's how you can so easily get caught up and or shine. So yeah.
Have you known people that have gotten themselves in sticky situations trying to please these people or trying to bring in drugs for these types of people, involving family members, even going to the point of getting some family members caught up trying to make money for these people or for
Yes.
themselves?
Yes. Again, it's a resident could come into prison and he just so happens, hey, my sister's more than willing to do this. He did that resident lives with me. This is true life situation. The resident a friend of mine, he was my neighbor. He was a resident and he was getting visits, and at the time we were in Salinas Valley, and because of ongoing war with Northerners and blacks, we were on lockdown. But however, because it was slowly we were slowly getting programmed. My Sally was getting visits, or his the resident was getting visits, and he opened up his mouth like, hey, my sister wouldn't bring stuff in, and sure enough, one of the guys wanting to get brownie points told somebody of importance, and straight up went to that guy and, hey, I heard you need this and that. You work for me now. And sure enough, got him caught up. One of the balloons got flushed. Now he's, rather than doing the house a favor, now he's indebted. Like, no. You owe this much now, and you're going to do this now, and this is how it's going to be done. And so now it's forcefully, and that's how they get people caught up. Rather than just being understanding or don't trip, we'll just cut it out of your end, or what I'm saying? No, it's like, no, instead of, I'm like, it's just cutthroat. It's cutthroat, and it's not what people think it is. It's not what people is. You're used, and it hurts because you're thinking like, I feel needed, I feel wanted, and I'm being a productive person. But now it's just you're for a moment, and you're just a ends to a means, and that's it. Yeah.
Hello?
Tony?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Before we end this part one segment, before we end this one segment, sir, I would definitely like to have you on for a part two. So if there's anybody out there that would like to drop a question for my friend here, that way I can ask him on the part two conversation. Some of these viewers' questions are very interesting. So I hope on the second two it gets real good, man. This interview was a very good one, but I'm sure, my good friend, there's a message that you wanted to share. There's something that you would want for these viewers to leave with. And what is that, sir? What would you like for us to know?
A lot of us, people in prison are circumstantial. Our situations are circumstantial. We didn't have that man or that discipline in our life. Like for me, for example, I strive to be a gang member. It was my dream to do heroin at 12 years old. I remember I was telling my friends I do heroin because I thought that was what I was supposed to do. I thought I say, like, it hurts me, but I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And I used to tell my friends I do heroin, this and that, and or I can't wait to go to prison. And I didn't know I was striving to be a drug addict or you know, like a unproductive person to society. And it's like, oh man, it hurts. But it's all circumstantial. You know, I didn't know. I did not know. And a lot of people feel the same way. Yeah.
I appreciate you, sir, for sharing a piece of your story and sharing a piece of your mind. I hope to have you on for the part two, my good friend, and stay on the positive track, sir. You know, good things will come.
All right.
I can assure you that.
All right, Tony.
God bless you,
You have a
sir.
good one.